So I know it's been quite a while since I've last given you guys an update, and to be honest, so much has transpired over the last couple of months that there's so much I want to share with you guys, but I know it's probably going to take well over an hour to get everything across. So I think what I want to do is, try to touch on as many highlights as possible, give you my honest feels, and of course, I'm always open for engagement. I love when you guys ask questions and comment, and I can get back in there and have good conversation with you guys. But yeah, I'm about a week and a half post Worlds, and you can kind of say I'm still kind of riding a nice high right now. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying what I just accomplished. And I should probably say what we just accomplished, because no doubt this was a team effort, as far as getting me to a top 5 finish in the lightweight class at WNBF Worlds. And to do it at my age, not to say that I'm like, super old, because I definitely don't feel old. But the reality is that I am 52 years of age, and I'm getting closer to 53 than I am 52. And I've been competing now for 30 years and training for 38 years, and that's going to happen next week, where it'll be a full 38 years of training. So, I definitely have a lot of miles on this body, but what's really cool, again, is just to kind of know that I can still be relevant, I still belong, and I'm still at the top of my game. Big question for me with this prep was, can I still hang? That was the big thing. I had a lot of doubt and fear that, I wasn't going to be able to look the part, trying to match or better my previous best years. You can kind of say that was kind of holding me back a little bit, because there was a moment in the prep where I was really on the fence, whether or not I really wanted to continue with the prep. I was, kind of asking myself, do I really want to go through with this? I've done so much over the 30 years. Do I really want to put myself through it? Do I want to put my family through it? And one of my own athletes, Mayan from Israel, tremendous inspiration herself, basically kind of just told me in one of her check-ins that, Jeff, you just need to be, in a sense, it's okay to be okay in the moment. There doesn't have to be too much rhyme or reason. You just need to enjoy the moment, and that is it. And one of the bike rides that I had way out into the middle of nowhere, watching the sun come up, it kind of just really sunk in what she was talking about. Like, there's no need for me to put as much pressure on myself as far as trying to be better than I have in the past, or to kind of live up to, certain expectations as far as being a 3D Muscle Journey coach or a former top 4 finisher at Worlds. It's okay just to be, just enjoy the moment. Take it day by day, do the best you can, and whatever happens, happens. She kind of helped me to get over a little hurdle there. So she's one person that kind of nudged me along. She's part of the team. It takes teamwork to be successful. So, if I didn't have her nudging me at that particular moment in time, then I wouldn't be where I am right now. Another athlete that I work with, Mark Adkins, such a positive reinforcement in my day-to-day, and a simple message that he would tell me, every day is truly a blessing. It really hit home. At any particular moment, something can happen. Of course, knock on wood, nothing negative happens, but tomorrow is never guaranteed. So for me, I took it to heart that, every day is truly a blessing. I need to make the most of it. And I feel like now know what my purpose is. I was born for this. That guy that sheds the light on consistency, no flash, just continue to put the work in and day out, be consistent, and over time get rewarded. So I've always been a late bloomer. I didn't get a pro card until the age of 38. I got my first pro in at the age of 43. And here we are at the age of 52, taking 5th place WNBF Worlds in the lightweight class. So things tend to come a little bit later in life for me, but showing that if you just put in an honest day's work and you're consistent with it, those pennies do add up. And that's something I do say quite often, is that every workout that you do, whether it's a really good workout where you're hitting PRs, or maybe it's just an average workout, or even those workouts where it just doesn't feel all that great, like the loads are down, you're not really hitting rep targets, you're falling short. But if you keep in mind, it truly is a blessing just to be able to move the weight from A to B. And as long as you're putting effort in and you're hitting, proximity to failure, where you really need to be with that, you're still getting a stimulus. You're not really regressing. Sometimes it's just in our mind that, we're not really making as many gains as we should because it's maybe a subpar workout. But it's still a penny being deposited into your physique account. So when you've trained as long as I have, 38 years, when you've competed for 30 years now, those pennies certainly have added up. And because of that consistency, it's the reason why I'm still enjoying a world-class physique. And I'm super, super proud of it. I'm not saying this to, out of arrogance or anything like that. It's just, it's kind of like a quiet confidence, knowing that no matter what people might have said about my approaches, my styles, and anything like that when it comes to my bodybuilding, I've always stayed true to my approach. And I've, in a sense, the last 10 or so years been very open and, allowing humility to take the lead. And, that's something I'm really proud of with this prep, is that there was moments where, again, I had Mayanne, I had Mark helping me out, and I had, of course, the 3D Muscle Journey coaches helping me out. Well, Eric Helms, just a big part of my prep when it comes to the emotional support, just having him there. Coming down for the week of the WNBF Washington show, he was here at the house. It was a bodybuilding camp for a week, and literally from the time we woke up to the time we went to sleep, it was nothing but bodybuilding. It brought me back to my roots, brought me back to my younger days, where it was all about the grind, just getting in there and putting that work in and pushing for progress and try to better yourself. And it was like a spark for me, like it really ignited a fire. And he helped me to get just lean enough heading into that show to look, probably around 85-90% of my best. Good enough to qualify for Worlds, because I didn't really have to place. I just had to do the show to qualify. And I was thankfully and happily, able to grab a second place finish there. So really proud of that. But again, just having that week to share with Eric really meant a lot. It made that week a lot of fun. It made the Washington show a lot of fun. Then it was basically back to work, and I needed to get much leaner, heading into Worlds. And, before Worlds, I decided to do NPC City of Lights. It's a natural show. It's their inaugural show there in Las Vegas. And it was a weekend getaway for my wife and I. I wanted to, in a sense, kind of thank her for, allowing me to prep, to give me the space to prep. So I figured, okay, let's go do the show in Las Vegas. One show format will be done early, and then after the show's over with, we'll venture out. We'll go walk the strip. We'll go out to dinner. We'll have a great time in Vegas. The Las Vegas show was a good success. I was able to win the overall, albeit it was a pretty small show. There wasn't a lot of athletes there, but it gave me an opportunity to practice peak week, practice more posing on stage, have a great time with it, get some really good pictures, and again, most importantly, to be able to express to my wife how much she means to me. And then heading into Worlds, gave the keys to Alberto to set up my peak week. The goal was to make the lightweight class. So about a month out from Worlds, that was the strategy, was to try to get my weight low enough to where we headed into peak week, we can run a gut cut, a water cut, in order to make the lightweight class. Because I am still competitive. Of course, when I'm on stage, I want to do well. I want to try to place as high as I can. I still have that fire, even though I'm, 52 and been doing this for a long time. Like, I still want to be relevant. I still want to belong. I want to do well. Of course, the main goal is always to be at my best regardless. As long as I'm fulfilling potential, regardless of what a placing, kind of says, as long as I know I did everything I could to be at my best, I'm always happy in the end. I might have maybe a little bit of a disappointment if I feel like I don't get the placing that I was hoping for. It's usually very short-lived. I'm one now who can take a really big step back, kind of see a big picture and, find this success. I'm really good with that. But again, we were strategic. We wanted to make the lightweight class because, usually I'm always like on the very low end of the middleweights. And, with the talent level really elevating over the last few years, like this world championship had over 50 countries being represented. Whereas, when I did the Worlds in 2014, there was only 23 countries represented. So it's definitely grown quite a bit. The talent pool is expanding. There's just far better bodybuilders nowadays. And in order to, to be competitive, I knew I needed to get into that lightweight class. And it was a challenge. It was a struggle. Again, we did a gut cut. We did a water cut. So basically liquid diet for 2 days. And I cut water the day before the weigh-in. So by the time I went to go weigh in, I was severely depleted. I did not look good. I did not feel good. But we had time to fill back out, to rehydrate, get some solid food in me because the show was on Sunday. The weigh-in was on Friday. So we were good with that. But when I went to weigh in, I was over the limit by 0.8 pounds. And I had until 3 o'clock to weigh again. So at that point, I was a little bit frustrated and I kind of just said out loud, I'm good with just being in the middleweights. It's all good. We gave it a good shot. And this is where Coach Loomis came into play because he's like, no. I'm going to go run to 7-Eleven. I'm going to get you a pack of gum and we're going to spit in a cup. So this man ran to 7-Eleven, got me some Hubba Bubba chewing gum, strawberry flavor, sat by my side in my hotel room, and we spit in a cup for about an hour and a half. And I tried to urinate as much as I could and went back down to weigh in again, and I was right on the button. So if it wasn't for him pushing me, then I probably wouldn't be telling you guys that I'm top 5 in the world. So, again, allowing Alberto to coach me through peak week and following it like a soldier and, allowing Brad to coach me in the moment to make weight. And again, allowing Eric to be by my side and Brian Miner, there for the ride as well. He's kind of like a silent motivator. Just looks at me and goes, you're good, and that just gives me a lot of confidence because, Brian Miner, someone I highly respect, high level athlete himself, high level coach. So just having these guys by my side and allowing myself to be coached by them, again, it's teamwork. And it's the reason I'm still on a very high level is, because of that teamwork. I don't think I could have done what I've done through my 40s and now into my early 50s if it wasn't, having the best coaching team out there. And I feel like as a coach myself, I can hang with those guys. I feel like I'm up there. I have a lot of coaching experience, obviously a lot of competitive experience. So if any of you guys are thinking about competing in 2024 or even 2025, it's a good idea to get with us sooner than later because it's all about really setting up the big picture game plan and making sure that that's set up wisely. It's kind of like, when you're flying in an airplane, right? Like you want to make sure the flight plan is set well in advance and, you're reserving your seat, because how it is when you get to the airport and if you don't have a seat assignment, just shit gets really crazy. So getting your seat assignment earlier, the better. Having good captain flying the plane and kind of knowing what that flight plan is, knowing what that weather is going to be and making sure that, you're taking off you're getting to cruising altitudes, and you're landing that plane safely and efficiently. That's what you want. So again, if you guys are looking to compete in the next year or two, highly advise you guys come on board. But anyways, it was a really great experience for me. I'm stoked. I'm like super excited. I don't know what my future plans are just yet. Right now I'm kind of riding a high, so that motivation is there. It's like, yeah, let's do it again. Let's kick some ass. Maybe I can get top 3 by getting a little bit leaner, maybe posing a little bit better, things like that. But I also know another month from now, my emotions will die down a little bit. Life can, potentially change, as far as, the family and work and all that. So I need to allow time to pass a little bit more before I kind of know for sure what my next steps are. But I will say it's a good feeling knowing that I still belong, I still can hang, and I feel like if I choose to do this again next year or the year after that, I feel like I still have some room for improvement. Not sure about muscle mass, but I know I can get leaner, I know I can pose better, I know I can peak even better, and I know I can probably prep a little bit more efficiently as far as the life perspective, the life dynamics. So there's a lot of room for growth. So even though I am, advancing in age, I think I'm regressing in the ability to keep progressing. So for those of you who are maybe in your 5-year window and you think, your gains are going to soon stop, stop, with the pessimistic mindset, and just realize that, you have a lot of progress to make in the decades ahead of you. So stay positive. I'll do my best to try to, get you guys another video in the future. For those of you who have been following along the whole time, or those of you who are just now following, I appreciate all the support, and we'll talk soon.